Nithyananda, everybody. I'm going to continue today again with the guaranteed solutions. So I'm excited to see what is going to be revealed. So I know, of course, I know the next part of this section, but I'll recap from yesterday. It was a fun time on Facebook Live. Indrajit, hi. Look, I can immediately wave at you. So the book is Guaranteed Solutions, and it's written by His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam. So yesterday, we looked at the mind map, and the mind map looks like this. Okay. This is what the mind map looks like. Now, I'm just wondering how much I'm going to recap without having to go through the whole session yesterday again. So if you want to, actually what would be better is if you wanted to, oh, hello mom. My mom's watching. Hi mom. I have my mom watching me. Great. Okay, wave back at Angelica as well. So yesterday we looked at the mind map, which was this, okay? So this is what happens in the book. It says that when you see something, hear something, touch something, taste something, smell something, so through your five senses, when you take some information in, it goes through the digital processing, digital signal processor, and there, and a digital image is formed, obviously, and then it goes to the memory where the process of elimination happens, and then it goes to the mind where, let me just make sure I focus in, where you get the identification happen of the item, dog, cat, whatever it is, and then the information goes to the ego, and that's where the decision is made on, whether it's going to be a reaction or not. Now, this part here, from the moment you see the information, hear, touch, taste, whatever, the five senses, and it goes up to the mind, this part is called TQ, and this is the logical process. From the mind to the ego, is the quantum leap. Okay, so this is where the irrational decisions are made. So for instance, yesterday Bhagavan was saying that logically you know not to smoke, but you can't help but smoke. So that becomes the instinct level. That's the instinct level behavior, if you like. So today we're going to look at the intellectual level. Okay, so I was wondering how I'm going to do this, but there you go. It just happened. So the next is the intellect level. Here you are conscious, you take decisions logically, but you don't have any extra enthusiasm or energy. You are just there with a conscious mind, that's all. You are not creative, not innovative. You don't take big steps, you don't grow. You are like a faithful servant. Einstein says, the intellect is a faithful servant. You can be a servant throughout your life. You can be just a servant, but nothing more or big can be done through you. At this level, you will just be collecting the data, processing it, and delivering it. You'll be nothing more than a computer. You don't take wrong decisions out of restlessness and overloading of your unconscious zone. You take decisions in a logical and conscious way. When you are at the intellect level, you are not tired, but you are not energetic either. You are in a break-even state. At this level, you are still not using your potential to the maximum, the extent to which it can be used. Okay, so here, Swamiji is talking about the TP and the TQ. Yeah, so logically you're taking you are conscious, you take decision logically. The TQ is very much actually Swamiji is not mentioning TP and TQ here. In any case, in the instinct level, there is no, there's tiredness, but in this level here, in the intellect level, there's no tiredness, but there is also no extra energy. So there's no energy either. Okay, so I'm gonna have to, you know what I'm gonna have to do? I'm gonna have to go through this a little bit slower to make more sense, to get more clicks. In the meantime, I'm gonna say, oh, Simla, Nithyanandam, Tulsi, Edgar, and Sandhyananda. Yes, so the instance level is here. You are conscious, you take decisions, right? But you don't have any extra other than, I think you're just there with a conscious mind, that's all. You're not creative, you're not innovative, you don't take big steps, you don't grow. So safe. I guess in a safe mode, you're like a faithful servant. Einstein says the intellect is a faithful servant. Okay, then I'm going to go to the next bit. The next level where you can actualize your entire potential is the intuition level. Okay, so we have the instinct, intellect, and intuition. So this is the third level. If you can infuse a deep silence and awareness into the unconscious zone and replace your engraved memories or files with silence and awareness, you can be at the intuition level. When you can be free from your memories and be empty and blissful in this unconscious zone, if you can be alive and fresh every moment without the burden of your past, without the burden of these engrams, the energy of your being will express itself in its purest form. When this happens, we can say that your intelligence is at its peak, because energy is intelligence. When this happens, you take decisions out of an energy called intuition, where you simply know with tremendous clarity. Okay, so I'm seeing one thread with the instinct level. With the instinct level, there's tiredness. Okay, so obviously the heavy files are tiring you out. So the unconscious is loaded with heavy files. That tires you out. Now on the next level is the intellect level. Here, you may have less files. But you don't have any extra energy either. It's only at the intuition level where you have energy, and that is intelligence. Because energy is intelligence. That is what Swamiji is saying here. Okay, I'm just piecing this together while I speak to you, okay? While I go live, I'm working this out as I would work out for myself if I was on my own. So, between the three, what is a thread that I want to catch? Catching it with energy first is one distinct difference between all three. Is the first one is loaded, so the instinct level is complete unconscious decisions being made. Even though you know you should not do it, you still do it. And then the second is the intellect level, where the energy levels is like neither high nor low. And then it's actually at the intuition level where the energy is at its peak, because energy is intelligence. When this happens, you take decisions out of an energy called intuition, and you simply know with tremendous clarity. So how do you know the difference between all three? The one that leaves you with the most energy has got to be the right one, which is intuition. When you are at the intuitive level, you will take decisions from the energy of your intuition, from deep awareness and peace, from bliss. This concept needs a deep understanding. You need to go deep into the whole science. Only then you'll be able to understand what I mean by the word intuition. Intuition is something which happens in you beyond your intellect. So then Bhagavan is going into a little bit more detail. So what is intuition? Let me explain. Suddenly you know for sure that something is the right thing, and you feel that you have enough energy also to do it. But you don't know the steps involved in doing it. That's pretty much being part of the Sangha. You don't know the steps that led you to the conclusion, but you know for sure that your conclusion or decision is right. This is intuition. This energy of intuition is needed whenever you are faced with a situation where there is no precedence. When you are stuck with minimum data and you need to take decisions, or you have many choices and you are not able to decide what you're supposed to do, in such situations, the energy of intuition helps you. Well, that's good to know. Not only in such situations, if you can be in this place of your being continuously, you will be totally present in every moment, and you will give birth to future moments also in the same fashion. If you try to assimilate what I'm telling you now, if you can just spend a few minutes sitting with yourself and feel how your stored engrams are causing havoc in you and burdening you, if you can just see the truth in what I'm saying, you will slowly know the knack of how to get out of this cycle and move to the higher plane of your being. One more thing with intuition, it gives you the energy not only to take the decision, but also to execute what you have decided. When I say this to people, they ask me, Swamiji, how do I find out whether I'm having an intuition or I'm just being intellectual? They tell me, Swamiji, I'm confused about whether it is intellect or intuition. I tell them, be very clear. If you are confused, it is only intellect. Well, that's straightforward, isn't it? The very confusion shows that it is only intellect. Because Paramashivam said, right? He said that with intuition you'll have clarity. So if there's a doubt, then it's got to be intellect. When you have intuition, you will be so confident and brimming with energy that there will be no room for confusion. With intuition, the potential power which is inside your being is simply unleashed. You open up, and just like that, you start expressing it, executing it. If you read about scientists and CEOs who have been involved in major breakthroughs in their fields again and again, you will find them attributing their success to something beyond their intellect, which gave them the energy or the guts to take those decisions. Know one thing, each and every one of you has the power of intuition in you. Let me ask you, how many of you have experienced at least once in your lives that when you are thinking of a particular person, the phone rings and that person is on the line, or you enter a place and you feel you have been to the place before, or similar intuitive things? You see, these are the moments of intuition that you have experienced accidentally in your lives. During these moments, you are accidentally in a meditative state. Though through these things, your being tries to relate with you. But what do? You brush these things aside as coincidence and ignore your being. We completely ignore the higher dimensions of your being. How can something that has happened to 80% of you be a coincidence? Be very clear. These moments of intuition are clear signs of the latent power in you. If you recognize and encourage it, you can express the higher dimensions of your being. Okay, I'm going to stop there. I was also thinking, okay, so what is the difference? And now Swamiji made it very, very clear that if there is confusion, he says it, if there is confusion, I'm adding on, if there is doubt in any way at all, then of course that is intellect. So at intuition level, it's going to be very, very clear. Simple. I'm gonna contemplate a lot more on the next two that I've spoken about today, read from and internalized. Especially, I think the intellect level hasn't quite sat well with me. When I mean sat well, means it hasn't quite clicked the way yesterday the whole Chakshu chart, the mind map, for instance, and instinct level description really, really made sense to me. I was like, okay, I can see that. And I can also relate with the intuition level, but the intellect level, I need to go into a bit more and see what Swamiji wants to say is as part of the science. Anyway, thank you all for listening, and I trust that you have received value. Well, I'm just excited. I saw my mum just now. I don't know if she continued to watch, but hi, Mum. Waving at Suranga, Nithyananda Suranga. So yes, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for stopping by, even if it was for a few seconds. I wish you all a good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. And I'm going to upload this video on YouTube. Any questions, let me know. Once again, thank you. Nithyanandam.